Okay, so this is a card I'm going to make as a Valentine's card for a friend of mine's son who is 7. And I'm going to use the Chibitronics lights in a few different colors, along with this pressure sensitive conductive plastic. And what this does is it allows more voltage through the harder you press on it. So the different lights require different voltages. So as you press on the plastic more, the different colors of lights will light up. So like red, yellow, and orange are the lowest voltage. Green is in the middle, and then the purple, blue, and white require the most. So my idea here for this card is that I'm going to put a red light here, and then a green and a purple. And then, so when you press a little bit, this light will go light up, and then this one, and then when you push more, and then when you press hardest, the last one will light up too. Okay, so I thought it would be fun to get an idea of how exactly this happens. And where did I put my pencil? Can't find my pencil. There it is. Okay, so the first thing we do is, none of these are glued down yet. This is just kind of an idea of what it'll look like when it's finished. So, you can see I've got just a plain sheet of cardstock, the same size as my decorated one. And we're going to build the circuit on the bottom, the white sheet. So I'm just going to trace these hearts so I know where those lights are going to need to go. Okay. All right. And I know that my little push here is going to go down in this corner. So I'm just going to put kind of like a mark right there so I know where that's going to go. And then I'm going to figure out how this circuit's going to go. I'm going to have the batteries here, and I'm going to use 2 batteries because I've got 3 lights. And then let's put these lights, and I'm going to put them this way. Hopefully there's enough room for me to put them this way. That was a bad trace. Yeah, there should be plenty of room to do this. Okay. The second one will go here, and the third one, I'm just centering this. The third one goes here. Okay, so I did a crappy job tracing that. All right. So the idea with this circuit is that these are the negative sides and these are the positive sides. So we will have a string, a line of the conductive foil going this way and another one going this way, leading to the 2 sides of the battery. Okay. Okay, so I've got my batteries in this battery holder I made. This is just 3 pieces of regular cardstock that I cut with my Scan and Cut. I made this little battery holder design. I probably could put the 2 battery circles closer together. But whatever. And this is totally not necessary, but I just like to do so that, the batteries can be replaced. So if the small person that I send this to really likes the card and wants to keep playing with it, this way, you can slide the batteries out and put new ones in. And you'll see more later how that battery holder stays in there. So I am just going to glue these together real quick. And make them all one piece instead of 3 separate pieces. And I'm going to bump into things as I do it. Okay, so that's 2. And you'll see in just a minute that these don't hold the batteries super securely. It's really just a way to be able to slide the batteries in and out. It doesn't have to hold them tightly. It just needs to give you access to them, because otherwise the batteries get trapped in the card, and once they die, the card is done. Okay, so there we go. So let's see, I've got minus there and plus there. So this is the minus side and this is the plus side. And the way batteries work is that this is going to be minus and this will be plus. And then I will put a piece of circuit tape between the two of them so that it connects the two. Okay, so first things first, we put down, just checking to make sure everything is lined up. So my minus goes there, my plus goes there. And this is going to stop right about there because we don't want them to touch before we get this all done. Okay. Now, what I do is I make this about the length I need, make it a little bit longer. And I actually cut it in half because then it lasts twice as long. And I find that the half width is plenty. Electrons are tiny, yo. The half width is plenty, and it's a little easier to maneuver with when it's super thin. So I just cut it in half. I'm frugal. This stuff is cheap too, so it's not even that necessary. I just like using the thinner ones better. Okay. So we take the backing off and we just place it down on the card, making sure that we're hitting those spots where the lights will go. All right, and when we turn the corners, this is where it gets a little bit fun. I like to use, sometimes I'll use a foam folder. Sometimes I actually use a pair of tweezers. If you kind of tilt it the opposite way that you want to go and flatten it down and then come back the way it's actually going to go, then you get that nice corner done. And we're just going to go down to there and trim it off because that's about as far as we want it to go. And then I like to take my bone folder and smooth that down. And then we do the same on the other side, but this one's going to have to turn 3 corners. Okay. That's where the hardest part is, getting the backing off when you first get it started. Okay. All right, so same thing on this side, where we're just going to lay this down. Okay, making sure that it's going to touch where the lights are going to go and not touch the other wire we just put down. Okay, so I turn my corner, flatten it down, and I go the other way. You can see that the lines that I drew before are really just a guide. It doesn't matter if I follow them exactly, which is good because I never do. All right, and back down this way. And there we go. Okay, now we're going to cut this off. Okay, so now we can see that we've got our circuit down there. Our batteries will go there and there. Okay, I'm going to use, where'd that piece go? I'm going to use just a little scrap to connect the two of them when we get the lights on there. Okay, because if I leave it like this, nothing's going to happen. Because the circuit has to be completed for everything to work. Okay, so we want, I'm trying to decide what colors I want to use. I know I want to use pink for the top one and green for the middle one. I guess I'll use red for the bottom one. All right. So we just peel off the stickers. I kind of like to hold them with tweezers because I find it easier. And place them in the appropriate spot. The best thing about these stickers is you can reuse them. So if you mess something up, you can go back and fix it. And let me tell you, I have had circuits that took me many, many tries to get right. I think 5 is my record right now of times I've had to redo the stickers or redo the circuit, and those stickers lasted the whole time. The light stickers did. So don't worry that you're going to screw something up and it'll be, you know, the end of it. No, you have plenty of time to peel them up, try again. All right. I'm making sure they're on there nice and tight. And then I guess I'll do red. It's Valentine's Day. Let's do red. Okay. So let me put this one on, and then you can see that if I put this here and here, they light up. Okay, so it's always good to check and be like, oh yeah, I made my circuit right. Now, let me show you what the pressure sensitive conductive plastic does. So if I put that in place and I press gently, you can see that only the red lights up. And as I push harder, the green lights up. And when I push really hard, the purple lights up too. Purple, pink, whatever color that is. So the idea being that as you press, the recipient presses harder, and I'm actually going to have the plastic on that one because of where I want that press here hard to be. As you press harder, more robot love. Okay, so just to give you an idea, whoops, forgot that part. That's important. So I'm actually going to put vellum on these hearts, but this will give you an idea because nobody wants to see that. Okay, so the hearts will light up, kind of like a temperature scale, you know, it goes up higher as you push more. Okay, so that is the circuit. Now, how do we keep this in place? Well, we're going to put foam tape all around. And I'm actually going to double up the foam tape because I want to make sure that this piece that's going to be, I'm going to do something else for this part too, but I've got to make sure that the piece that's here is not going to connect the circuit when you're not pressing it. Okay. So the way we do that we make that little bit that kind of makes the switch for the circuit is, let me think, I'm going to, actually, hold on. I'm going to cut a little piece of cardstock that, okay. So I made a little change of plans. I decided I would rather, instead of using foam tape, which I frequently use, I decided to use a piece of foam instead. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. This foam is just slightly thicker than the battery. And the reason I decided to use the foam is since I'm using 2 batteries, it's easier to make sure that the circuit isn't going to be completed when the button isn't being pressed, basically. So I just felt like this would work better. I'm still going to use the battery holder. I'm just going to cut the foam here so that everything will fit in. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of lining it up, seeing where I'm going to be cutting. I'm just going to mark the foam here. So my battery holder is going to go from there to there. And then I'm kind of making note of actually I can do it this way. I'm going to put a mark where the lights are because that's the other space that needs to be cut out. The whole circuit can be covered up by the foam without a problem. So we're only gonna have to cut out where those lights are. And really I can just cut out where the bulb is shining through, where the LED is, because that's all that needs to shine through. Everything else can be covered up. And I'm tracing this, and I'm also going to make sure when I cut that I'm cutting a little inside of this, because the way the pencil marks are, they're thicker than the battery holder itself. So I'm just cutting right inside the pencil line. This stuff cuts like butter. And it's pretty forgiving stuff too, so if I cut wrong, it'll all be okay. Okay, so now, just gonna lay that there. And I'm gonna make sure that my battery holder fits right in there. It's a little snug on that side, but I think it's gonna be okay. Let's see. I'm going to trim that just a little bit more. Just so it fits. And that we can just pull right off. Okay, so now that goes in there. Perfect. Slides in and out. And once this is glued down, life will be a lot easier. Okay, now to cut these holes, I'm going to use my little screw hole punch because that is easier. And this you just go like that and boom, hole. It also scares the cat. And you pretty much can get 2 punches with the foam before you really need to poke the bits out. Otherwise they'll get in the way. And here's number 3. You'll notice this is quite a bit smaller than the circle I drew. Oops. That's okay. It does not really matter. That one wants to stay there. Okay. Since the LEDs are so small, they will fit through that hole. And now I'm just going to check and make sure. And if need be, I will redo it. That's what makes this so fun. It's forgiving. If you mess up, you can fix things. All right, so this was, which side was that? What was negative? Okay. Usually I mark the battery holder, but I haven't done that yet. And then yep, still shines right through. Perfect. Okay. So that's going to go there. And let me mark these. So this is the positive side, and this is the negative side, just in case when the recipient goes to change the battery, they know what to do. All right. So I always like to glue down last thing. Like everything else gets done before I glue anything down. All right. So I'm going to cut a piece of vellum. Let's trying to find a piece that's like not in the middle, but still will do what I want. Okay, so we'll just glue that down, and it's on the back, so it doesn't matter what kind of glue I use because vellum is a pain in the butt with glue. Okay, so this will go some glue around these. And this is on the back of the card, so it doesn't matter if there's loose edges, it's not going to show. All right, so now we can see what this will look like once everything is in its place. This will go here. there we go. So if I put my little robot dudes down here, you'll see how it looks like they are. You know, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna glue. And I'm actually going to cut out that top hole a little bit more so that more light gets to that heart. It looks kind of sparse. I do have a larger hole punch, but it's just easier to do this with scissors than change it and all that. So we just cut that out a little bit more. Boom. Okay. It's a little jagged. I might clean it up a bit. Yeah, it's a lot jagged. Okay. So. And now you can see, if I can get my fingers out of the way, how that just, come on, lets more light in through that heart. And I'll probably cut that out a bit more and clean it up. Okay. So I am going to, this is going right there. It's going on this side. I'm going to put the copper tape down here so that everything will be where it's supposed to, because it's real awkward to have to do that, to hold it down and try to get it in the right place. So this just goes right here to complete the circuit. Okay. And there's one more thing that I'm going to do, and that is I'm going to put this conductive fabric over the tops of the stickers. And this just gives it another layer of making sure that everything stays connected and the circuit doesn't have issues once the card is all put together. So this stuff is especially good if you've had to redo your circuit a few times. Just gives it another way to have your circuit be completed. Okay, so sometimes if you're reusing the stickers a few times, they the connection on the back side might get a little loose. This just makes sure it's all good. Okay. And this again is the conductive fabric. It's on the Chibitronics store too. Okay, so then I'm going to put one on the bottom. Oh, I hate peeling this stuff. Come on. There we go. All right. Just use my bone folder to make sure everything is well stuck together. All right, so now you can see I put my battery in its spot. Put that on there. Here comes the top. And there we go. Oh, I forgot the plastic. Okay. So there you go. You can see how this, for harder you press, the different colors light up. Okay, now that we've got the circuit working, we are going to finish off the front of the card, and then we'll start gluing things down. So this, you can see, push here, and those lights light up. So I'm going to have my two little robot dudes here. right, and I've got my push here push here heart, which will go right there on the spot where you need to push. And I'll put this other one right there, and I think I'm gonna add some sort of Valentine message. So I've got to find the right set. And where is it? Okay, I don't have a bunch of Valentine stamps, so I am going to use this Happy Valentine's Day from Love Letters, hopefully. That will fit, and I think we're going to put that right there. We'll do Happy Valentine's Day maybe right about there, and grab my robots. And we'll put, I think, the You Charge Me Up from the Charge Me Up set right there. So since the little robots are charging up the hearts, I think that is good sentiment to use there. So let me get my Misti. We're just gonna line those up, stamp those on there, and then we're gonna get to gluing things. Ooh, the table's getting messy. Okay, so let's set this in here. All right, and I've got You Charge Me Up. We'll do that right. Let's see, where do I want these? I think that one will go right there. Or maybe I'll put the You Charge Me Up down there. I think I like that. We've got a little yeah, I think that'll work. I think I like the way that looks. Everything looks good. So, take these guys off. Whoops. Pick that up before I'm going to mess things up. All right, so let's pick these up. Take off my robots and my hearts, and I'll ink these up and get them stamped. Let's see what color. Yeah. Thought maybe I'd do a different color, but no, I think we'll just stick with black. Because I'm not sure how well some of the other colors will show up on this background. All right, everything looks inked. Now, just gonna do that. And there we go. Little blip there. Re-ink. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the You Charge Me Up because I like the way that one looks, but I think I want to try to fix that blip on the T on Happy Valentine's Day because stuff like that will annoy me. Okay, so let's just re-ink that. Make sure I'm getting that T and I there. And I may have like a blip on my paper or something. That's okay. That'll work. Okay. All right. So now, whoops, let's not forget to take the stamp off. Now, all right, let's get this put away, or I'll regret it later, and let's start gluing everything down. Okay. So, I'm going to put on my little robots. Glue them down. Do him right there. That one right there. And this one over here. And I'm going to wait to glue the press here heart, just to make sure that it's in the right spot. Okay, so there's my other little robot. They're so cute. Okay, and we'll go ahead and stick this heart down. Okay, and now let's work on this. Okay, I need to glue the pressure sensitive conductive plastic. It is a mouthful on here. So I'm going to line that up where it needs to be. And I am just going to put a little bit of glue around the edges so that it doesn't interfere with the circuit. Because I don't know if the glue is conductive. It probably isn't. All right. And you'll notice I'm lining it up with where it goes on the card, so I make sure I get it in the right spot. Okay, so that's there. And then always double check and make sure things still work, and they do. Maybe now something's messed up. Haha. There we go. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to start gluing stuff on. All right. I'm going to use my tape gun here and just put down adhesive all around. I got to remember where this part goes and make sure that I am not getting adhesive on that battery. So I'm going to use liquid glue there just to make sure that I'm not gluing down the battery holder, because otherwise what's the point of this mess I just made with getting the battery holder right. Okay, so do all right, and I remembered that I need to cut this little tab in the pink card also, so I'm going to do that quickly. I'm going to line this up. This is always an adventure, making sure everything is lined up just right. All right, that looks pretty good. Lined up nice and straight. Get that in there. Make sure my battery holder still fits. That's all good. All right, we don't glue down the battery holder. Let me just run this through. Now I'm using the little slot I don't know what this thing is called. This thing from the Flippy Flappy die, just because it's got that little dot cutter thing. I don't know. I am just going to line this up, figure out where we are. Okay, so we're right about there. It doesn't have to be exact. And you'll notice I am barely putting this on the paper. This is like a huge indentation. I just don't want that much. So I'm just sliding it on there, trying to figure out where I put my washi tape. And this is just so that it's easier to grab that that battery holder, because that is a otherwise it's real hard to get that out since it's flush in there. It's gonna, so that it's possible to pull that battery holder out. And let's see if I can get that off there. Okay. Now, put in the battery holder, put in the batteries. Just double check one last time, make sure everything is happy. I got some crud on there. Come on, get off there, you stupid thing. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to glue down the top. And again, I'm going to make sure that I am not putting any glue on that battery holder or any. So we'll do a little liquid glue along this edge here. Oh, and I guess I got to put the battery back in. Huh, that fell out. Sticking to my own card. Boy, I messed everything up there. All right. So we got positive and negative. And then we're going to line this up. Nice and square. Come on. It's a little off on that side. Let's see if I can pull it back off and try again. If not, it'll be okay. Well, now I done messed it up, didn't I? Okay. Okay, try that again. That's the nice thing about the tape on the foam, is it comes off real easily if you mess up. Okay. So let's do this again. Battery, battery, battery. Probably should have done just liquid glue on the whole thing, but you know, why make life easy for myself? Oh, I'm making a big mess. Okay. Let me knock some stuff over. I want someone to invent something that it's like tall in a corner so you can easily line stuff up right. That would make life so much better. All right, so we're lining this up. That looks better. Here we go. Find that press here spot right there. So my purple heart, which is over here, is going to go right there. I always like to double check a few times before I glue it down, just to be sure. So right there is the spot. Push that on there, and there we go. We have pressure sensitive conductive plastic light up Valentine's card.